Please turn to page 200 for Stage 4 Opinion Writing. On page 200, you will see that we have a checklist here. After a student has finished writing their opinion, you can go back and you can use this checklist to see the content and organization. What has the student written and how is it organized when it comes to their opinion writing? And you can use this checklist to make sure that they have all those elements in place, as well as a checklist for the sentences and mechanics. This is for you to assess your students' writing at Stage 4. Underneath the checklist is a sample organizer already completed by a student. And in this case, this organizer was for an opinion about a story. And then connected right next to it is their written final piece of writing that they produced from this organizer. In this type of writing at Stage 4, what we will have is a topic sentence. Then we will have details, and notice we're going to have two details down here, and these details are going to be reasons that back up our topic sentence. And what is our topic sentence? It's going to be our opinion. So we have our topic sentence, our opinion. Then we have our details, reasons to back up that opinion. And finally, we have our conclusion, which is going to repeat that topic sentence using different words. There are all the parts of our Stage 4 opinion writing. And in this case, it was for a story, but an opinion can be about a story or a topic. We will go through both types of opinions in the following lessons. Let's get started. On the facing page, page 201, that is a blank page because eventually your students will need to use blank paper when they are planning out their opinions. So we will start with an organizer that they can fill in on page 200. We saw that organizer that was already completed. On page 201, we also have blank paper, which eventually that's what you want your children to use. On page 202, you have a black line master for you to duplicate and give your students when they are first learning how to organize and plan their opinions. On the top box, that's our introduction to your opinion, where you are, if it's a book, going to say the title of the book. If it's a topic, then you will not have this starting sentence. It won't be here. All the opinions will have this next sentence for their topic sentence, in my opinion, and then students will say what they think or feel. The following boxes will have the reasons to back up their opinions. Notice you have on this black line master starter words or transition words for these reasons. And finally, at the bottom is our conclusion, and the conclusion is going to repeat that topic sentence. This is our black line master that we will give students at the beginning of the year. What I suggest is once the students have used the black line master organizer so that they know all the parts of an opinion, that you no longer duplicate a copy of that, but instead give them a long sheet of legal size paper that you have folded once, twice, so that when you unfold it, they actually will have 4 boxes on that long sheet of paper. When you give the students this paper, they should immediately draw lines on the folds so they will have those 4 boxes to plan their own opinions. On page 203, you have line paper in which the students can write out their opinions, and also a box to draw a picture to match their opinion. Let's start our lesson. Go to page 201. You have a blank sheet of paper there. I suggest that you grab several sheets of blank paper as I go through the beginning part of this lesson for you to take notes. And when we finally make our organizer, use this page. Let's begin. We're about to start our Stage 4 lesson with our students, and we tell the students quickly what we are doing. Boys and girls, we are going to write an opinion. An opinion is what I think or how I feel about anything in the world or a book I've read. Let's look at our chart. What are we talking about when we have that opinion? We're going to say we have an opinion about the world. That's going to be a topic, meaning that I can tell you what I think or how I feel about a person, a place, a thing, a rule, an idea. Or I can have an opinion about something that I've read. I can have an opinion about a story or information that I've read. This is what we mean by an opinion. In an opinion, we are talking about how we think or what we feel about anything in the world, a topic, or about something that we've read, information or a story. That's text. So our opinion can be about the world, a topic, or about text, a story or information. On page 200, you'll see the organizer is already filled in. We're going to walk through and I'll show you how we filled in this organizer. This is for a story. After that, we will then fill in a blank organizer to show you how your students will eventually make their own organizer and write this on their own. So at the beginning of the year, you would give your children this blank black line master. And after reading a story that you've been reading several times in class, or a read aloud story, or if you've been studying some information in science or social studies, or just things that have been happening in the world, you are now going to use this in order to form an opinion. In this opinion, the students have just finished reading Johnny Appleseed, written by Patricia DeMuth. After reading this story, we will then fill in our organizer. So I'll say to the students, boys and girls, we just finished reading Johnny Appleseed. Let's write an opinion about this story. We're going to write our opinion, so we need our topic sentence. If it's a story, what do you need to do? Be polite. Start with the title. Capitalize the first word and all the important words in the title. So we know we can't just go ahead and tell you what we think about Johnny Appleseed. We have to first start off with the title. So we go to our first line and notice what we have there, Johnny Appleseed. The kids write the title. We do that. Let's go back and read what our organizer says at this point. I read Johnny Appleseed. Let's act that out, boys and girls. I read Johnny Appleseed. Once we say the title of the book, what's the next thing we need to do? We need to have our topic sentence. We now need to say what we think or how we feel about the story Johnny Appleseed. We could say Johnny Appleseed was kind and sweet, but let's even do more. Let's say what we think, what the people and the animals in the story thought of Johnny Appleseed. Yeah, that's even more interesting. So what we did was we said, in my opinion, and then we drew people and animals here, and that they loved Johnny. We have our opinion. Let's go back and read that beginning of our organizer. The be polite, tell the title, and give your opinion. So we have, I read Johnny Appleseed. In my opinion, the people and the animals love Johnny. So we had now our topic sentence, and of course we started off with our title because we have to be polite. Next, what do we need to do? Let's go to the body. And when we have the body, what are we going to do? We have to back up our opinion. How do we know that the people or animals love Johnny? Where's our evidence? How do we know that? We go back to the book and we find the page where it shows that the animals loved Johnny. Johnny walked by himself, but he was not alone. The animals were his friends. Most people were afraid of animals, but not Johnny. One day, a big black bear saw Johnny go by. It did not hurt Johnny. Maybe the bear knew Johnny was a friend. We read this page, we look at the picture. Next, we go to our organizer, and we are only going to draw the idea. Notice here, the student drew a picture of a bear. We're not forming a sentence, we're just putting our evidence, our reason why we think the animals or the people love Johnny. How do we know that? What's our reasonings? Why do we think that? Why do we feel that? Well, we drew a bear, and the bear was in the woods and he didn't hurt Johnny, so we drew a picture of a bear there. We said the animals love Johnny, we have our bear there who loved Johnny, and the next thing we needed to do is show people who love Johnny. So we had to go back to our story and we had to find evidence of people who love Johnny. We go back to the book, we find the Indians were Johnny's friends too. They showed him how to find good food, plants, and roots. Notice on our organizer, we have a Native American and we drew some plants with some roots there. We drew our picture, we're not forming a sentence. Once we had those two boxes filled in with reasons why the people and the animals love Johnny, we go back and we reread our organizer, and notice at the beginning of each one of the reason boxes, we have starter words, transition words. We're going to choose one of those starter words that's in the first box for the reasons, and then one of the starter words that's in the second box. Let's go back and read. I read Johnny Appleseed. In my opinion, the people and the animals love Johnny. What words will we begin our first reason with? The children choose their starter word or words. In this case, the student wrote to start. To start, how do I say this sentence? Who loved Johnny? The bear. What did the bear do to show that it loved Johnny? The bear did not attack Johnny when he was walking through the woods. What kind of bear did not attack Johnny? Well, he's wild. That's what's important to know about. At this point, we go back and we read the whole thing. I read Johnny Appleseed. In my opinion, the people and the animals love Johnny. To start, the wild bears didn't attack Johnny when he was walking through the forest. Let's go to our next reason. Who or what is this reason about? The Indians. What about the Indians? Remember, I'm going back up. What did they do to show they loved Johnny? I'm going back up to that opinion. What did they do to show they loved Johnny? That's the questions I'm asking the kids so they can form a sentence. So we go back and say, also, who or what is the opinion about? The Indians. What about the Indians? Go back to your opinion. What did they do to show they loved Johnny? Also, the Indians showed Johnny how to find plants and roots so he wouldn't starve. Excellent. We have our different sentences here where we have our story title, our opinion, our two reasons. Let's end with our conclusion. What are we doing in our conclusion? Let's repeat that opinion, but use different words. So now we have our topic sentence, that's our opinion. Then we have our body, which are reasons to back up that opinion. And finally, our conclusion. Repeat that opinion, but use different words. Who or what is this opinion about? How the people love Johnny. So we went down and said, how could we say this differently? We could say that he was a nice man. They loved Johnny. He was a nice man. Let's say it that way. What's another way I could say it? I think everyone, instead of just saying people and animals, thought Johnny was a wonderful man. Thought Johnny was a nice man. In this case, we had, I think Johnny was a nice man. We have our intro with our title, opinion, our body with our reasons, and our conclusions. We go back and let's read it. Ready? I read Johnny Appleseed. In my opinion, the people and the animals loved Johnny. To start, the wild animals didn't attack him when he was in the forest. Also, the Native Americans helped him find plants and roots he could eat. I think Johnny was a nice man. The students orally rehearse that over and over again. You can go back, add your punctuation, make sure that you have your capitals and your periods in place, your commas. Once you have all those in place, you read it over and over again, and then as you can see, the students will write it out. One last trick. When your students are orally rehearsing their organizer, have them on the line paper draw a yellow box. So when they go to write, they will automatically indent. Starting at the margin becomes a really bad habit that students need to break. And in order to do that, when they're planning out an organizer, orally rehearsing it, and about to write, for them to add one more thing, oh yeah, I have to indent, many times that pops right out of their head. So what I like to do is I like to have them draw a little box there so they have a visual and they know to indent. They will automatically indent because that little box is there telling them that they have to start writing after the yellow box. Eventually, that box fades. Through indenting every time they write, they've taught themselves to do that automatically. They don't even have to think about it. It's just natural, and it's a habit that they've developed. At this point, we've walked through the organizer. Next, on page 201, you have a blank sheet of paper. We're going to use that blank sheet of paper and walk through these same steps, but now students no longer are going to get the duplicated organizer. Instead, they're going to build their own organizer. On page 201, I want you to look at this as if this is a legal size sheet of paper, 8.5 by 14 inches, in which you will give your students, remember you need to fold it so that there's 4 boxes. Please follow along on this page as we go through the lesson. The students have their legal size piece of paper. What's the first thing they need to do? Draw the 3 lines so they have their 4 boxes. And how do they know to draw those 3 lines? Because you folded the paper and you gave it to them. We have our 4 boxes. Next, let's get started. We're going to go up to the top. What do we need to have in that top box? We need to have our opinion. Is our opinion going to be about a topic or about a text? We had just finished reading Goldilocks and the Three Bears all week long, so we decided we were going to have an opinion about the text that we were reading. We just finished reading The Three Bears, written by Paul Galdone. Next, what we're going to do is have an opinion about this book. We can have an opinion about the entire story. We thought it was wonderful. We thought it was interesting. We thought it was exciting. We thought it was filled with scary parts. Or we can have an opinion about a character. The 3 bears were kind to each other. The baby bear was sweet and adorable. Goldilocks was naughty. What is an easy way for you to have students come up with an opinion? Sometimes when they just look at the book and you flip through the pages, it's a little difficult for them to come up with an idea and opinion. So let me show you a little trick. After you finish reading the book, sequence the story. We have now our beginning of the story, we have our actions in the middle, and finally our ending. When I do this, it's a little easier for children to come up with an opinion because they have a visual of the entire story. This is a beginning activity that you would do with students where you would sequence out the book so they could look at every single part in order to come up with an opinion. And at this point, I'm going to say, boys and girls, are we going to say what we believe, what we think or feel about the entire story, about someone in the story, or are we going to give advice? Maybe advice about the whole story, what someone should learn from this story. Or are we going to give a character in the story advice? Should we give Goldilocks advice in this story? What are we going to do? At this point, we looked at the story and we said, what do we see a lot of? We see a lot of Goldilocks. Let's have an opinion about Goldilocks. Do we want to give her advice or do we want to say what we believe about Goldilocks? What do we think or feel about her? Let's look at everything that she did in this story. What do we think about her? We think she's naughty. So there's our opinion. We now think that Goldilocks is naughty. We go up to our top box and we could write our opinion right away, but that wouldn't be polite. This is a story. So what do you need to do when you're giving an opinion about a story? You need to be polite. You need to give the title. So over here, we're going to write the title right at the top. We look at our story when we have the title, The Three Bears. And we know when we write a title, what do? Capitalize the first word and all the important words in the title. The first word is the. It's not an important word, but it's the first word. So what do we need to do? Capitalize it. T-H-E. 3. Ooh, that's an important word. T-H-R-E-E. 3. Bears. That's an important word. Capitalize it. Let's go back and read our beginning of our opinion. I read The Three Bears. I could start off like that. I just finished reading a great book titled The Three Bears. That's a great one. Notice I didn't put the author's name. You don't have to do that in your standards for first grade. Just make sure you have the title when you're doing any type of text. We now have our starter sentence. I finished reading The Three Bears. I loved reading the story, The Three Bears. Ooh, that's great. I had a blast reading the story, The Three Bears. Notice how I just have the title up there, but I'm trying to create a little bit of voice and excitement. After I've done that, I'll go back and say, I started that with I. I'm going to put I there so I can remember that. I had a blast reading the story, The Three Bears. I finished up that sentence and I put my period. So at this point, I now need to tell you my opinion. We looked at those sequencing boxes and we decided our opinion was about Goldilocks. Let's look at some of our frames here. We could say, I feel Goldilocks is a naughty girl. I think Goldilocks is a naughty character. In my opinion, Goldilocks is naughty. We will choose one of our frames in order to write our topic sentence. So we have, let's say, in my opinion. In my opinion. And then I don't need to write Goldilocks is naughty. I'm just going to put a little character here with hair and a G on her for Goldilocks, and I'm putting a capital G to remember to capitalize her name. In my opinion, Goldilocks is naughty. And I have my period. So notice, not everything is written out, just keywords. Let's go back and let's start our entire opening of our opinion. We have our title and then our opinion. Let's do it. I just finished reading a fabulous story titled The Three Bears. In my opinion, Goldilocks is naughty. In my opinion, the little girl Goldilocks is naughty. I just finished reading a wonderful story titled The Three Bears. In my opinion, the character Goldilocks is naughty. There's our opinion. Notice how I keep rehearsing this over and over, saying different words. After we do that, where are we heading next? Okay, boys and girls, we gave the title of the story and we told our opinion. Let's head into the body. What do we need to do now? We need to back up our opinion, back it up with reasons why she's naughty. At this point, we're going to go to our two boxes and draw 2 lines. So we have our starter words there. Next, we're going to look at our sequence boxes so that we can quickly see where she was naughty. Ooh, she ate all the porridge. She was naughty there. She broke Baby Bear's chair. She was naughty when she went into Baby Bear's bed and just slept in his bed. She was naughty here too when she went into their house. So we look at all the different places that she was naughty. Why am I doing this on these sequence boxes? Why am I not jumping to the book? Because I want them to see the whole story at once. It's hard for kids to keep everything in their head. This way I'm giving them a visual. Once we decide, oh, one of the ways that she was naughty was she ate their porridge. Next, we grab the book and we find the page where she ate all the porridge. This is a temporary activity where you have the sequencing boxes and then you go to the book to find that evidence. But I will tell you, this is probably one of the best things you can do in order for children to think and find evidence in the text, because they first have the sequence boxes to see it all, then they go to the text to find the exact page. This is a wonderful way to bridge to getting to evidence in the book. Once we have Little Girl is Naughty, we read the 2 pages and we also look at our pictures and we decide she's naughty because she ate all of Baby Bear's porridge. We said she's naughty, back it up, back it up. We went to our sequencing boxes, saw that she ate all the porridge, went to the book to match up the page to show exactly in the book where that proof is, where we're backing up what our opinion is. Next, we go to our box, our reason box, and we're just going to draw a picture. We're not coming up with a sentence yet. We're just drawing our picture to represent who Goldilocks. What about her? What did she do that was naughty? So we have Goldilocks here, and we show the porridge, and maybe I'll put a spoon going into her mouth, and how she ate all of Baby Bear's porridge. So we'll put like a little bit of porridge at the bottom. And here she is eating all the porridge. So I just put the reason down. I'm not forming a sentence. We will go to the next box and put the next reason why she was naughty. So our ideas, what she did that was naughty, are going to be recorded first before we form our sentences. Back to the sequencing boxes. We chose the porridge was one way that she was naughty. She ate all of Baby Bear's porridge. We look at our other boxes and we say, she broke Baby Bear's chair. That is awful. Yes, that's really naughty. So let's go back and put a keyword, or we could say broke chair, or we could draw a picture. We decided we would draw a picture. So here she is flying in the air. Oh no! And the chair is broken on the ground. We have our ideas. Ate all the porridge, broke the chair. Next, we need to go back and form our sentences. We have to have our starter words, our transitions. Then we need our subject, who or what is being naughty, and what action is she doing that's being naughty. Those are your prompts that you're going to say to your students. For our first reason, we need to have our transition. And from our black line master, we have had 3 different transitions that students have chosen from: to start, to begin, first. We look at our box and we say, which one are we going to use? To start, to begin, first. In this case, we said the students then decide on which transition they want. Up here, we may have first. We have our transition. Let's finish up the rest of the sentence. Let's form our subject. Who or what is this reason about? Goldilocks, action, what is she doing? That's naughty. It's important that you say those phrases because you're teaching children how to think, how to stay on topic. We're talking about Goldilocks and her actions that she did that was naughty. So when you're forming the sentences, that's what you need to ask. We had our transition. First, who or what is being naughty? Goldilocks. What's another word I could say other than Goldilocks? She. First, she. What did she do that was naughty? She ate all of Baby Bear's porridge, so he will go hungry. Who are we talking about? She. First, she ate all of Baby Bear's porridge, and now he'll go hungry. Ooh, excellent. Let's put a period there. For our second reason, we had transitions that the students had learned from their black line master organizer. Next, then, also. We could, if we wrote first, second. Next, then, also, second. Which one will you use? And the students will then put down their transition word. Also, who or what are we talking about? Who is being naughty? Goldilocks. Let's write Goldilocks this time. What did Goldilocks do here that was naughty? Goldilocks breaks Baby Bear's chair so he has nowhere to sit in his home. Excellent. Let's go to our conclusion. Who or what is this about? Goldilocks. I already said Goldilocks is naughty. I already said naughty. So what's another way that I could say that Goldilocks is naughty? Instead of saying in my opinion, I could just say, I think. And instead of using Goldilocks, because I already used that in the previous sentence, I could say something like, I think this character is one big troublemaker. Excellent. Let's write the word character and let's write troublemaker. So we're only writing keywords. After we finish that up, we'll go back and we'll add all our punctuation. Let's orally rehearse it first. I just finished reading a wonderful book titled The 3 Bears. In my opinion, the character Goldilocks is naughty. First, she eats all of Baby Bear's porridge, so he'll go hungry. Also, Goldilocks breaks Baby Bear's chair, and he no longer has a place to sit. I think this character is a big troublemaker. Excellent job. Let's go back and add our capitals, commas, and periods. Punctuation time. Let's put our capitals, commas, and periods in place with our red pen. I just finished reading. Ooh, what did we start with? I read The 3 Bears. Ooh, let's put our capital on The 3 Bears. And then I read the story The 3 Bears, period. In my opinion, in has a capital and then a comma. In my opinion, Goldilocks, let's put our capital there. In my opinion, Goldilocks is one naughty girl, period. First, let's put our capital and our comma after our transition. She eats all of Baby Bear's porridge, so he goes hungry. So he will go hungry, period. Also, there's our capital with a comma. Also, Goldilocks breaks his chair, so he has nowhere to sit. Period. I think this character is a troublemaker. Period. We have our organizer, we have the capitals, the periods. We've orally rehearsed this over and over again. When the students can say it on their own, they write it down. As the year goes on, you want children, when they finish reading a story, when they finish listening to your focus story from your language arts program, whatever story you're focusing on for the week, they could write an opinion about it. When you have a listening post, they could take their blank piece of paper and organize an opinion and then write it out. When they read their own books, they can write an opinion using this process. I hope that you've enjoyed this stage 4 opinion writing and that it works well for your students.